Room 307, midnight. Those 3 words were about to reveal a secret bigger than anything I could have imagined. My name is Michael Turner, and I had been married to Laura for 6 years. I always believed we had a normal and happy life, not perfect but real. Like every couple, we had arguments, problems, and difficult days, but one thing always remained between us: trust. Or at least, that's what I thought. For the past few weeks, Laura had been acting differently. She started behaving strangely. Whenever I came near her, she would hide her phone. She stopped telling me about her plans, and every time I asked where she was going, her answers felt incomplete. I noticed everything, but I kept trying to convince myself that I was overthinking. Because sometimes the person you love the most is the person you find it hardest to doubt. Then, one evening, everything changed. Laura was taking a shower, and I was getting ready to go out. I couldn't find my car keys anywhere. I checked the table, the kitchen, the bedroom. But the keys were nowhere. Then I thought, maybe Laura put them in her bag. I stopped for a few seconds because I had never checked her things before. But I only wanted my keys. That was all. I opened her bag, and I expected to find my car keys inside. But instead, I found something else. A hotel key card. My hands froze. I stared at it. At first, I tried to calm myself. Maybe it's from a meeting. Maybe she forgot to throw it away. Maybe there's a simple explanation. But then I turned the card over, and my heart dropped. Written on it were the words, Room 307. My heartbeat became faster. Then I noticed a small folded piece of paper beside it. I picked it up and opened it. There were only a few words written, 12 am. Don't be late. I just stood there, unable to move, because suddenly this wasn't just a hotel key. It was a question. A question I was afraid to answer. Who was Laura meeting at room 307, and why was she hiding it from me? A few moments later, I heard the shower turn off. Laura was coming back. I quickly put everything exactly where I found it. I closed her bag and sat down like nothing had happened. A few seconds later, Laura walked into the room. She looked at me and smiled. But at that moment, I didn't see my wife. I saw someone who was hiding a secret from me. Is everything okay? She asked. I looked at her, and for the first time in 6 years, I lied to her. Yeah, everything is fine. She smiled and walked away. But inside my mind, one thing kept repeating. Room 307. Midnight. That night, I couldn't sleep. I was waiting. Because I needed the truth. Not the truth Laura wanted to tell me, but the truth she was trying to hide. And when the clock got closer to midnight, I made my decision. I was going to find out who my wife was meeting. The clock moved slowly toward midnight. I was sitting in the darkness, pretending to watch TV, but my mind was somewhere else. On that small piece of paper. 12 am. Don't be late. Those words kept repeating in my head. I looked at Laura. She was sitting on the couch, scrolling through her phone, smiling, like nothing was wrong, like she hadn't just hidden a hotel key from me. I wanted to ask her. I wanted to say, "Who are you meeting tonight?" But I stopped myself. Because if Laura was hiding something, I needed proof, not just suspicion. A few minutes later, she stood up. I'm going to sleep early tonight, she said. I looked at the clock, 11:20 p.m. My heart started beating faster. Are you tired? I asked. She nodded. Yeah, it was a long day. Another lie. I knew it, because her eyes kept moving toward her phone. Like she was waiting for something, she walked upstairs, and after a few minutes, I heard the bedroom door close. I waited. 5 minutes. 10 minutes. Then I slowly walked upstairs. The room was dark. Laura was lying in bed, but her phone wasn't beside her. It was gone. I checked the time, 11:45 p.m. Then I heard a sound. The front door. I quickly walked toward the window, and I saw Laura leaving the house. My heart dropped. She wasn't going to sleep. She was going somewhere. I grabbed my jacket and followed her. I kept my distance. I didn't want her to notice me. After a few minutes, she stopped her car in front of a hotel. The same hotel. The same place. I parked across the street and watched. Laura walked inside. I waited. 10 minutes. 15 minutes. Then I saw a man enter the hotel. Tall, wearing a black jacket. I couldn't see his face clearly. But I knew one thing. He wasn't a stranger to Laura, because the moment she saw him, she looked scared. Not happy, not excited. Scared, I took out my phone and recorded everything. Then I saw them walk toward the elevator. The number above the elevator changed. Floor 3. My heart stopped. Room 307. They were going there, the place that had been haunting me all night. I stepped out of my car. I wanted to go inside. I wanted answers, but then my phone suddenly rang. Unknown number. I answered. A voice whispered, "Michael, don't go up there." I froze. Who is this? The person ignored my question. Then they said, "If you open that door, your entire marriage will change forever." My hands tightened around the phone. How do you know where I am? Silence. Then the voice said, "Because I know Laura better than you do." The call ended. I stared at the hotel. At the third floor. At room 307. And for the first time I wondered, was Laura really the person I should be afraid of? Or was someone else controlling this entire situation? I stood there, outside the hotel, holding my phone. The unknown caller's words kept playing in my mind. I know Laura better than you do. Who was this person? And why did they sound like they were trying to protect me? I looked up at the third floor. Room 307. The room where my wife was sitting with another man. Every part of me wanted to walk inside, to open that door, to finally get the truth. But something stopped me, a strange feeling, like I was missing a bigger piece of the story. I waited outside for almost 20 minutes. Then, suddenly, the elevator doors opened. Laura came out. But she wasn't with the man. She was alone. Her face looked different. She wasn't angry. She wasn't hiding. She looked broken. I watched as she walked toward the exit. Then I noticed something. She was crying. My anger started mixing with confusion. If she was meeting someone secretly, why did she look like someone who had just lost something? I waited until she left. Then I entered the hotel. I walked to the reception desk. "Excuse me," I said. The receptionist looked up. "How can I help you?" I pointed toward the elevator. "I need information about room 307. The receptionist immediately became uncomfortable. "I'm sorry, sir, we don't share guest information." I nodded. Then I asked, "Was my wife here tonight?" The receptionist looked at me. A long pause. Then she quietly said, "Sir, I think you should talk to the person who is waiting for you." My heart stopped. Waiting for me? She reached under the desk and handed me an envelope. My name was written on it. Michael Turner. I couldn't believe it. Someone knew I would come. I opened it. Inside was a picture. A picture of Laura and the same man from room 307, but this time I saw his face clearly. There was a name written behind the photo, Jason Miller. I had never heard that name before. Then I found a second note. Only one sentence: "Your wife isn't cheating on you, Michael. She is trying to protect you." I read it again. And again. Protect me. From what? Suddenly, my phone rang. Unknown number. The same voice. "You found the photo." My heart raced. "Who are you?" The voice stayed silent for a moment, then replied, "My name is Kevin Brooks." I froze. Kevin. A name I recognized. My old friend. the person who hadn't spoken to me in years. "Why are you involved in this?" He answered, "Because Laura isn't the only one who has been hiding the truth from you." I felt a chill. What truth? His voice became serious. "The night you met Laura," a pause, "was not a coincidence." The call ended, and I stood there frozen. Because suddenly, I wasn't investigating my wife anymore, I was investigating my entire life. I drove home that night with only one thought in my mind. The night you met Laura was not a coincidence. Kevin's words kept repeating. How could my entire marriage be connected to something I didn't even know about? For 6 years, I believed I knew my own story. I met Laura. We fell in love. We got married. That was it. But now, I wasn't sure anymore. When I reached home, Laura was already there. She was sitting on the couch in the dark, waiting for me. The moment she saw my face, she knew. "You followed me," she said quietly. I stopped. There was no point lying. "Yes," she closed her eyes. For a few seconds, she didn't say anything. Then she whispered, "I was hoping you wouldn't find out this way." Those words hurt, because they meant one thing. She knew there was something to find out. "What is going on, Laura?" She looked at me. "I can explain." I laughed softly. Everyone says that after they get caught. Her eyes filled with tears. "I never wanted to hurt you." "Then why did you lie?" She looked down. "Because I was afraid." "Afraid of what?" She stayed quiet. "Then," she said, "of losing you." I shook my head. "You already lost my trust." The room became silent. Then Laura walked toward a drawer. She opened it and pulled out an old envelope. She handed it to me. "I kept this for years." I opened it. Inside was an old photograph, a picture of me. But it wasn't a normal picture. It was taken before I met Laura. I looked at her. "What is this?" She said, "Your past." I stared at the photo. Behind me in the picture was a building I recognized. It was my father's old office. "How did you get this?" Laura took a deep breath. "Because before we met, I knew your family." My heart stopped. "What?" She looked away. "My father worked with your father." I couldn't believe it. "My father never told me." "Because he didn't want you to know." "Know what?" Laura's eyes filled with fear. "That there was a reason your family and mine separated." I felt a cold wave. "What reason?" Before she could answer, someone knocked on the door. 3 slow knocks. We both looked toward the entrance. Laura's face changed. She looked terrified. "Who is it?" No answer. Then my phone buzzed. A message appeared. "Unknown number." Only one sentence. "Don't trust Laura. She is still hiding the biggest secret." I looked at Laura. She looked at the door. Then she whispered, "Michael." My heart started racing. "Who is outside?" She slowly replied, "The person who started all of this. For a few seconds, neither of us moved. The message on my phone was still glowing. "Don't trust Laura. She is still hiding the biggest secret." I looked at my wife, the woman I had loved for 6 years, the woman I thought I knew, but now I wasn't sure about anything. "Michael," Laura whispered. Her voice was shaking. "Don't open that door." I stared at her. "Why?" She didn't answer. And that silence told me everything. "You know who is outside." Her eyes filled with fear. Yes, my heart started beating faster. "Who?" Before she could reply, the knocking came again. Knock, knock, this time louder. I walked toward the door. Laura grabbed my arm. "Please," I turned around. 6 years, Laura, my voice was quiet. 6 years I trusted you." She looked down. "I know, and every answer I get creates more questions." I pointed toward the door. "I need to know who is standing there." Slowly, I opened the door. But there was nobody. Only a small box placed on the ground. I looked outside. The street was empty. No car, no person, nothing. I picked up the box and brought it inside. Laura looked nervous. "What is that?" I don't know. The box had no name, no address, only one word written on it, truth. I opened it. Inside was a small voice recorder and a photograph. The photograph showed Laura, but not with Jason, not with another man, with someone else. Someone I recognized, my father. My hand started shaking. Why is my father in this? Laura went silent. That scared me. Laura, she slowly sat down. I was hoping you would never see this. I looked at her. What does my father have to do with everything? She took a deep breath. Then she said, your father knew about Victor. I frowned. Who is Victor? Laura looked at me. The man who destroyed both our families. My mind raced. Explain, she continued. Years ago, my father and your father were business partners. But someone betrayed them. Someone who wanted everything they had. I looked at the photo again. And Victor? She nodded. Yes, he was the reason our families fell apart. I didn't know what to say. Then I noticed something. The voice recorder. I pressed the button. At first, there was silence. Then, a voice. My father's voice. I hadn't heard it in years. The recording started. If you are hearing this, it means the truth has finally reached you. My heart stopped. My father continued, Michael. I'm sorry. I hid something from you. The recording paused, then the next words made me freeze. Your marriage to Laura was never a coincidence. I looked at Laura. She looked terrified. The recording continued. She came into your life because of a secret, a pause, and I was the reason she found you. The recorder fell from my hand. I couldn't breathe. Because now I had one terrifying question. Was my entire marriage built on a lie? The room became silent. The only sound was the voice recorder lying on the floor. My father's voice was still echoing in my mind. Your marriage to Laura was never a coincidence. I looked at Laura. My hands were shaking. Tell me he was wrong. She didn't answer, and that silence hurt more than any confession. Laura, my voice broke. Was everything between us a lie? She quickly shook her head. No, Michael then explained. Tears started falling from her eyes. When I first met you, she paused. Yes, I knew who you were. My heart sank. I stepped back. So it's true. You came into my life because of my father, she nodded slowly. But not for the reason you think. I looked away. Then why? Laura wiped her tears. 7 years ago, my father disappeared. I looked at her. Disappeared? She nodded. He left behind one message. What message? She looked at the recorder. The same truth your father was trying to hide. I picked up the recorder again. The recording continued. My father's voice returned. Michael, if you are listening to this, then Victor has returned. My face changed. Laura whispered, you know the name now. Victor, the man who had destroyed both families, the man behind everything. The recording continued. Victor believes I took something from him, but the truth is, I was trying to stop him. The recording suddenly became unclear. Then my father said something that shocked me. Laura knows the location. I looked at her. What location? She looked terrified. Michael, I never wanted you involved. Involved in what? She didn't answer. Then my phone suddenly rang. Unknown number. I answered. A deep voice spoke. Hello, Michael. I froze. Because I knew that voice. Not personally, but from the stories Laura told me. Victor? Silence. Then he laughed. So, she finally told you. My grip tightened. Where are you? Another laugh. That's the wrong question. What do you want? His voice became serious. I want what your father stole from me. I looked at Laura. What did he steal? Victor replied, the evidence that can destroy me. A pause. Then he added, and Laura has been protecting it all these years. The call ended. I looked at my wife. Laura, she closed her eyes. I have to show you something. She walked toward the bedroom, opened a hidden compartment in her closet, and pulled out a small metal box. Inside was an old photograph, a USB drive, and one document. I picked up the document. The first line made my blood run cold, because it had my name on it. Michael Turner, the final key. I looked at Laura. What does this mean? She whispered, it means you were never just a part of this story. You were the reason it started. I stared at the document in my hands. My name was written on it. Michael Turner, the final key. Those words didn't make sense. I looked at Laura. What does this mean? She looked at me with tears in her eyes. I never wanted you to know this way. I shook my head. Laura, I need the truth now. She took a deep breath. Your father wasn't just trying to stop Victor. He was trying to protect you. I frowned. Protect me from what? She looked at the document. From becoming the next target. My heart dropped. Target? She nodded. Victor spent years searching for something your father hid. What? The evidence against him. I looked at the USB drive inside the box. And that's it? Laura shook her head. No, then what is it? She looked at me. You. I stepped back. What are you talking about? She picked up the document. This file explains everything. Years ago, your father discovered Victor was using the company to hide illegal activities. He collected proof, but before he could expose him, Victor found out. I stayed silent. Your father knew Victor would come after him, so he hid the evidence somewhere Victor would never find. I looked at the USB. Where? Laura's voice became quiet. He divided it. Divided it? Yes, one part was hidden. And the other part, she looked at me, was connected to you. I couldn't believe it. My father involved me? No, she shook her head. He protected you. Suddenly, the lights went out. The entire house went dark. Laura grabbed my hand. Michael, her voice was scared. Someone is here. I heard a sound, a door opening, slow footsteps. Someone was inside the house. My heart started racing. I quietly moved toward the hallway. Who's there? No answer. Then a voice came from the darkness. A voice I had never heard before. You finally found the box. I froze. Laura whispered, no. The person stepped forward. The light from outside revealed his face. It wasn't Victor. It wasn't Jason. It was someone I trusted, someone who had been helping me since the beginning. My old friend Kevin Brooks. I stared at him. Kevin? He looked at me sadly. I'm sorry, Michael. My voice became cold. You lied to me. He looked at Laura. Then back at me. I was trying to protect you. I laughed. Everyone says that. Kevin stepped closer. But you don't understand. Victor isn't the only person you should fear. My face changed. What do you mean? Kevin looked at the USB drive. That thing you found? It's not just evidence. It contains the truth about who really betrayed your father. A long silence followed. Then Kevin said, and the person who did it is someone much closer than you think. I stared at Kevin. The same person who had helped me. The same person who claimed he was protecting me. Now he was standing in my house, saying someone close to me had betrayed my father. My mind was spinning. Kevin, my voice was low. What are you hiding from me? He looked away. I wanted to tell you, but every time I tried, he stopped. Something stopped me. I laughed bitterly. Something? Or someone? Kevin didn't answer. And that silence was enough. I stepped closer. You knew about the hotel. You knew about Laura. You knew about everything. His eyes met mine. Yes, my anger grew. Then why did you let me believe my wife was cheating on me? Kevin looked at Laura. Then back at me, because if you knew the truth too early, you would have never discovered the real person behind all this. I shook my head. So you used me. He lowered his eyes. Yes, the room became quiet. Then, Laura spoke. Michael, listen to him. I turned toward her. You knew too? She nodded slowly. I knew Kevin was watching from the beginning. My heart sank again. So both of you were hiding things from me. Laura looked hurt. We were trying to keep you alive. Before I could answer, Kevin took out his phone. I received a message. What message? He showed me the screen. One sentence. From an unknown number. They know about the box. Finish this tonight. I felt a chill. Who sent this? Kevin shook his head. I don't know. Suddenly, a loud sound came from outside, like a car stopping. We all looked toward the window. A black car was parked outside. The lights were off, but someone was sitting inside, watching us. Laura's face changed. Michael, what? She whispered. He found us. I looked at her. Victor? She nodded. Then the front door handle started moving. Someone was trying to open it. Kevin quickly turned off the lights. Everyone stay quiet. The handle stopped. A few seconds passed. Then, the door opened. Slowly, a man walked inside. But it wasn't Victor. It was someone else. Someone I never expected. Someone who knew my father. Someone who knew Laura. Someone who knew everything. He looked at me and said, Michael Turner, you finally found the truth. I stared at him. Who are you? He smiled. My name is Daniel. My heart stopped. Daniel, the same name connected to Laura's past. But before I could ask anything, he looked at the USB drive and said, that contains the evidence. A pause, and it also contains the truth about Laura. I looked at my wife. Her face turned pale because she knew whatever was on that USB was about to destroy everything. I looked at Daniel. My mind was full of questions. Who was he? Why did he know about the USB? And why did Laura look so scared when she heard his name? I tightened my grip on the drive. Laura. My voice was quiet. Who is Daniel? She didn't answer. That silence hurt more than anything. Daniel looked at her. You never told him, did you? Laura stepped forward. Daniel, don't. He smiled. After everything, you still want to protect him. I looked between them. Someone explain what is happening. Kevin moved closer. Michael, maybe you should see what's inside that drive first. I looked at the USB, then at Laura. I walked toward the laptop and connected it. For a few seconds, nothing happened. Then a folder appeared. Only one file. The name was For Michael. My hands froze. I opened it. A video started playing. And then, I saw my father. Older, tired, sitting in the same office from the old photograph. My father looked directly at the camera and said, Michael, if you are watching this, it means I failed to protect you. My heart sank. I hadn't heard his voice in years. The video continued. Everything that happened in your life was connected to one mistake I made. I trusted the wrong person. A pause. Then he said a name, Victor. Daniel looked down. My father continued, but Victor wasn't working alone. I looked at Laura. She looked nervous. There was someone helping him. The room became silent. My father's next words shocked me. Someone inside our family. I stopped breathing. Family? Who? The video continued. I tried to stop them, but before I could expose them, they took everything from me. The screen went black. For a moment, nobody spoke. Then the file continued. A second video opened. This one was newer. The camera showed a woman. I didn't recognize her. She was sitting in a hospital. Then she looked into the camera and said, Michael. My face changed. Because I knew that voice. It was my mother. A woman everyone told me had left years ago. But she was alive. She continued, I'm sorry I disappeared. I did it to protect you. I couldn't move. My mother? Alive? After all these years? She looked at the camera and said, "The person you trust the most is the person you should fear." The video ended. The room was completely silent. I slowly turned toward Laura. Then Kevin. Then Daniel. Who is she talking about? Nobody answered. Until Daniel finally spoke. His voice was serious. "Michael, the person who betrayed your father is someone standing in this room." My heart stopped. I looked around. Because suddenly, I didn't know who I could trust anymore. The room felt colder than before. My mother's words were still playing in my mind. The person you trust the most is the person you should fear. I looked at everyone standing there. Laura, Kevin, Daniel, 3 people. 3 secrets. And I didn't know who was telling the truth anymore. I slowly closed the laptop. Someone in this room betrayed my father. My voice was shaking. "So tell me, who was it?" Nobody spoke. Then, Kevin took a step forward. "Michael." I looked at him. "Don't." My voice became cold. Not another excuse. Kevin stopped. For the first time, he looked scared. "I know what this looks like. You've lied to me for weeks. I kept things from you. But I never betrayed your father." I turned toward Laura. "And you?" Her eyes filled with tears. "I made mistakes." I laughed softly. "Mistakes? You built our entire relationship on secrets." She looked hurt. "But I loved you." Those words stopped me. Because I knew she meant it. But love didn't answer my questions. Then Daniel spoke. "Maybe you're looking at the wrong people." I looked at him. "What do you mean?" He pointed at the laptop. "Your mother said the person you trust the most." A pause. "Who did you trust more than anyone?" My mind went blank. I thought about everyone. Then one memory appeared. My father, his old office, the photograph, the missing years, and one name. A person who was always around my family, someone who knew every secret. My heart started racing. "No," Daniel looked at me. "You realized it." I shook my head. "That's impossible." Kevin frowned. "Michael, who are you thinking about?" I couldn't speak because the answer felt impossible. Then my phone rang. Unknown number. Everyone looked at me. I answered. No one spoke at first. Then an old voice said, "Hello, son." My entire body froze. I knew that voice, my father. But that was impossible. My father is dead. A quiet laugh came from the phone. "No, Michael." He wanted everyone to believe that. My hands started shaking. "Who are you?" The voice replied, "The man who has been watching you from the beginning." The call ended. And seconds later, a message appeared. A location. An old abandoned building. The same building from the photograph. Then another message came. "Come alone if you want the truth." I looked at the screen. Laura grabbed my arm. "No, Michael. It's a trap." But I already knew something. Whoever was behind all of this was finally ready to reveal himself. And this time, I wasn't running away. I looked at the message on my phone. "Come alone if you want the truth." My hands were shaking. After all these years, after all the secrets, I was finally going to meet the person behind everything. Laura stepped in front of me. "No, Michael." Her voice was full of fear. "You can't go there." I looked at her. "Why?" She didn't answer. Again, that silence. The same silence that started all of this. "Laura," my voice became quiet. "I spent my whole life believing I knew the truth. But everyone around me was hiding something." Tears filled her eyes. "I was trying to protect you." "I know." I looked at her. "But you also hurt me." She lowered her head. Because she knew I was right. Kevin stepped forward. "I'm coming with you." I shook my head. "No, if he asked me to come alone, then I need to go alone." Daniel looked worried. "Michael, this could be a trap." I smiled slightly. "Everything in my life has been a trap." Maybe it's time I finally face it. A few hours later, I arrived at the old building. The same building from the photograph, the place where everything started. The door was half open. I walked inside. The building was empty, dark, silent. Then, suddenly, the lights turned on, and someone was standing in front of me. An old man, someone I never expected to see. My father. I couldn't breathe. Dad? He looked at me. His eyes were full of regret. Michael, I stepped back. You're alive. He nodded. I had to disappear. Why? His face changed. Because someone wanted me dead. I shook my head. Everyone told me you were gone. I know. Why did you let me believe that? He looked down. Because I failed you. I wanted to be angry. But seeing him after all these years, everything felt complicated. Who betrayed you? He stayed silent. Then he said, the person you trusted the most. My heart stopped. Who? My father looked toward the door and said, your mother. I froze. What? He continued, she wasn't protecting you. She was protecting herself. I couldn't believe it. My mother? My father nodded. She worked with Victor. The truth finally came out. The person everyone thought was missing, the person everyone blamed, was hiding the biggest secret. Suddenly, we heard footsteps. Someone entered the building. I turned and saw Laura. My face changed. Why are you here? She looked at me. Because I knew you wouldn't listen. My father looked at her. You protected him. Laura nodded. Yes, I looked between them. What is happening? My father smiled sadly. Michael, your wife wasn't the person who destroyed your life. She was the person who spent years trying to save it. I looked at Laura, and for the first time I understood everything. The lies, the secrets, the fear. They weren't about betrayal. They were about survival. Later that night, the truth about Victor and everyone involved finally came out. The evidence was handed over. The people responsible were exposed, and after years of darkness, the secrets finally ended. I stood outside with Laura. Neither of us spoke. Then she said, I know I hurt you. I looked at her. Yes, but I never stopped loving you. I stayed quiet. Because forgiveness isn't something that happens in 1 second. Trust takes time. But sometimes, the truth, no matter how painful it is the first step toward healing. I looked at the hotel keycard that started everything. A small piece of plastic. A simple number. Room 307. And I realized, sometimes the biggest secrets don't hide in the dark. Sometimes they are hidden in the people closest to us. The end.